In December 2010, police searching for missing woman Shannon Gilbert along the remote stretch of Ocean Parkway near Gilgo Beach, Long Island, made a discovery that changed the investigation forever. Instead of finding Gilbert, a police K-9 located human remains wrapped in burlap. As the search expanded over the following days, investigators uncovered more bodies, revealing that Gilgo Beach had been used as a dumping ground for years. What began as a missing person case quickly became one of America's largest serial murder investigations. As detectives looked deeper, they connected disappearances, stretching back to the 1990s. Many of the victims had worked as escorts and disappeared after arranging meetings with clients through online advertisements and disposable phones. Initially, the disappearances seemed unrelated because they occurred years apart and across different jurisdictions. Everything changed after investigators discovered the Gilgo Four: Melissa Barthelemy, Megan Waterman, Amber Lynn Costello, and Maureen Brainerd Barnes, whose bodies had all been wrapped in burlap and left near one another along Ocean Parkway. The similarity suggested a single organized offender who had remained unnoticed for years. Investigators believed the killer carefully targeted vulnerable women, contacted them using burner phones, arranged paid meetings, and then murdered them before transporting their bodies to the isolated shoreline. The crimes appeared highly organized, spanning multiple years while leaving very little evidence behind. The remote geography of Gilgo Beach allowed the perpetrator to repeatedly return to the same location without attracting attention. Despite identifying clear patterns, investigators spent years without knowing who the killer was. For more than a decade, the investigation stalled. Public frustration grew as leads failed to identify a suspect. In 2022, authorities created a multi-agency task force that re-examined every aspect of the case using modern investigative techniques. Detectives revisited witness interviews, reanalyzed historical evidence, and focused on a witness description of a Chevrolet Avalanche seen near one victim shortly before she disappeared. Investigators combined this information with advanced cell site analysis, mapping burner phone activity to identify movement patterns that repeatedly pointed toward one individual. Surveillance then focused on Rex Heuermann, a Long Island architect. Detectives secretly collected discarded DNA from a pizza crust he threw away and compared it with forensic evidence recovered during the investigation. Hair evidence recovered from burlap wrapping, digital records, witness statements, vehicle information, and burner phone analysis all reinforced the case. On July 13, 2023, investigators arrested Heuermann, alleging that years of digital and forensic evidence connected him to multiple Gilgo Beach murders. The case became even more shocking because Heuermann appeared to live an ordinary suburban life while prosecutors alleged he secretly carried out carefully planned murders over many years. Authorities claimed many of the killings occurred when members of his family were away from home, allowing him to act without immediate suspicion. In April 2026, Heuermann pleaded guilty to 8 murders spanning nearly 2 decades, admitting responsibility for crimes that had haunted investigators and victims' families for years. Although the guilty plea resolved many of the central questions, investigators continue examining whether additional victims may be connected to the broader Gilgo Beach investigation. Authorities also continue treating Shannon Gilbert's death separately, despite the fact that the search for her led investigators to the burial sites that uncovered the serial murders. In June 2026, Heuermann was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. During sentencing, victims' families described the lasting pain caused by years of uncertainty before finally learning who was responsible. The investigation demonstrated how persistence, advances in forensic science, digital evidence, and renewed investigative efforts can eventually solve even the most difficult cold cases. Today, Gilgo Beach appears peaceful with traffic continuing along Ocean Parkway much as it always has. Yet beneath that ordinary landscape lay one of America's most disturbing serial murder investigations. The victims are remembered not only for the tragedy of their deaths, but for the lives they lived beyond the headlines. The Gilgo Beach case stands as a reminder that even the most carefully hidden crimes can eventually be uncovered, and that sometimes the greatest mysteries are hidden in places thousands of people pass every day without ever realizing what lies just beyond the road.